Every CapCut stereotype explained. I keep seeing the same types of people show up in every single discussion about CapCut, and I realized something. There are actual distinct types of CapCut users that you have definitely met before. And I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I've been sitting in my notes and I keep adding to it. So today we're breaking down every CapCut stereotype I've observed from spending way too much time in the editing community. And at least one of you watching this is going to recognize yourself, the template tourist. So the template tourist downloaded CapCut specifically because they saw a TikTok trend. They've never opened the timeline manually, and everything they've made is 3 taps and a render. This type of person can produce 5 videos a day, has more output than the most dedicated editors, and almost all of it looks identical. I can assure you, you've seen their content and you couldn't tell which person made it because they all have the same audio, the same transitions. These are the type of people that will call themselves editors when they've never even opened the timeline manually. When's the last time they've actually used an effect? Or when's the last time they've made their own shakes? Yeah, when you get the answer, let me know. The template tourist is the funniest one because they typically have the highest ego. But that ego is usually kind of unwarranted because they don't really make the actual edits themselves. They just take a template from someone that's already made the template and just post it as their own. And then they'll wonder why they don't get any views. You should probably try and make something that hasn't been posted 100 times by 10 million different other people. Then maybe you'd have a chance at going for the gatekeeping pro. Oof, this one. And this one is a recurring character that we'll find not only in the CapCut stereotypes, but in every single editing community. The gatekeeping pro is a serious editor, right? He uses After Effects or Premiere, and he has very loud opinions about CapCut. This guy will show up in any CapCut conversation to remind everyone that the real editors don't use CapCut. But the thing is that they've forgotten that they also started somewhere. Telling beginners their tools are bad helps nobody. Half the time, these people started on CapCut and then graduated from CapCut and are now shaming the people that use CapCut. But bro, you just came from that, bro. It be your day ones. That's some snaky stuff, bro. These be the loudest people as well. So if this is you and you're the gatekeeping pro, you know who you are. The defensive CapCutter. The defensive CapCutter is the user that has been using CapCut since 2020. He actually knows the app well and is personally offended by any criticism that is made against CapCut, as if it was an insult made towards him. They take any insult so seriously, in fact, that they will raid your comment sections to the point of even doxing you if you get too crazy with your claims. They will write 3 paragraphs in the comments explaining why CapCut is actually the best software, but nobody was personally attacking them. Like, bro, why are you taking it so personal, bro? It's as if these people specifically identified with the CapCut experience. To be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if these were CapCut developers or something, acting as if they were real users, just to protect their own app. I wouldn't be surprised because the way these people be defending CapCut as if they were their Avengers or something, like, bro, no one cares about CapCut like that, bro. It's not that deep. It's free guy. So this guy uses the freeness of CapCut as a complete defense for every criticism. CapCut has a bunch of pro paid features, but it's free. CapCut limits your editing potential as an editor, but it's free. Saying it's free is not an argument. Like, it makes no sense. That's not a legit defense. And the worst part is that these people will also complain when features get paywalled, and they just don't see the irony. Like, you got this entire thing because it was free, but now if you have to pay for a bunch of effects that you used to use before, then there's a bit of a problem with what you identify with, buddy. This is the very loud opinion and the very consistent position that costs nothing, or so they think. But at this point, if you're in this category, you're selling your soul to CapCut at this point. Lock in. The reluctant upgrader. This person has outgrown CapCut. They know it, but they refuse to admit it. Maybe it's because they were so used to CapCut, or maybe it's because they feel a sense of belonging with CapCut. They feel safe. They don't want to leave CapCut, and they keep trying to make increasingly complex edits in a tool that was not built for complex edits. And ever since then, they probably rage quit at least twice when CapCut couldn't do the thing they needed it to do. And so, reluctantly, they eventually move on to a real desktop editor. They'll spend 3 weeks saying the old way was better, but then will never go back. It's pretty funny and pretty ironic, but these people are the real advocates and the real people behind CapCut. They're not insufferable like the people that give 3 million paragraphs as to why CapCut is the best editing software in the market. They'll simply realize that CapCut was good for the purpose that it serves in the beginning of their editing journey, but now that they've outgrown it, they're gonna have to move on. And that's a decision that a lot of CapCut editors are gonna have to face, but you still still have to get the skill in the first place. So don't get ahead of yourself. The Comeback Kid. The Comeback Kid left CapCut when the Pro paywall dropped. They made a dramatic exit, posted about it, and is now back because the other applications were just too complicated. You were so loud about leaving CapCut because there was a paywall. And as soon as you switched to another software that had a little bit more of a learning curve, you decided to go back to what you knew, simply because you're just too lazy to learn a different software. At this point, you and CapCut deserve each other. This is the most honest character on this list, and nobody wants to admit that they've done this. Like, I know at least 50% of you have done this before. You've decided you wanted to use a different software, you realized it was too difficult, and you went straight back to CapCut without a shadow of a doubt. The actual editor who uses CapCut for speed. Now, this is your professional or your serious editor that uses After Effects for everything that's complex, but then uses CapCut specifically for quick mobile outputs because it's genuinely efficient for that use case. Let's not forget that CapCut was made to be a fast app that saves you time and that was accessible anywhere. This person does not have an opinion about CapCut being good or bad, but they just use the right tool for the right job. They don't really care about CapCut being bad or good. And you'll never find this type of person in any comments of a CapCut debate. So in my opinion, this is the correct behavior that you should have if you're a CapCut editor. And with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe to help the channel out. You watching the entire video and leaving these comments about your experiences and opinions really make my day. And for those of you who want to quote unquote know how to not get AE, then go to my Instagram page, link in description, and make sure to follow me and like the post on the page so I can see your message. If you're watching these videos, it means you actively want to improve our video creation as a whole, whether it's edits, content creation, or anything that requires editing, which shows your determination to win in life. So thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you for rocking out with me, and let's get back into it. Now, what do these CapCut archetypes actually teach us? All of these characters represent real positions in how people think about tools. The way you view your editing software, whether it be After Effects, CapCut, DaVinci Resolve, it showcases the state of mind that some of these people have. And the actual lesson is that how you talk about the tools that you use says more about how you think about editing than the tools do. If you're constantly saying that editing is boring, then most likely your editing software is boring. And also, the Gatekeeping Pro is as limited by their identity as the Template Tourist is by their technique. No one is better or worse than the other. They're all equally as bad as one another. But I will say that the best editors aren't defined by which apps they use, but they're defined by understanding why they're using them. So you'd actually benefit from asking yourself, why are you using your current software? If you're using a mobile software, is it simply because you do not have a PC that can handle a higher quality editing software? And if you're using a PC software like After Effects, DaVinci, why are you using those? Are you using those to create better videos and make more creative content? Or are you simply using them because you've been shamed into using them from your other editing peers? Really think about it, because it's going to change your entire perspective on editing as a whole and your motivations for editing in general. If I was to give you one point to walk away from after watching this video, is that your tools don't make you an editor, your judgment does. So let me know in the comments which CapCut stereotype you think you are. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, because we're trying to reach 10,000 subs by the end of summer, and we can only do it if all of us lock in. And I recommend you watch this video, as it'll explain every single mistake that every editor makes. It's going to be super useful for you if you don't really know why your edits are bad. Sprint to success.